So we're going to jump into 5 tips of retaining length. Wait, that's 10. We're going to jump into 5 tips of retaining length like a pro.
What's up, people? Jheri J here. Hey, and if you want to take control of your 4C hair life, start today. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. Let's jump in.
So the number 7 thing to the 10 things that broke off my natural hair was focusing on the wrong thing. And that was, how much does my hair grow in a day, week, month, in an hour? I was so caught up on doing things, crazy things, to make my hair grow faster when I didn't know any better, when I should have been focused on how to retain the hair that I already got on my head. And that is length retention. So let's focus on it. Let's talk about it. How do you retain the hair that's already on your head? Tip number 1 is dry detangle. When you are considering dry detangling, you want to make sure that you can still feel some old product on your fingers before you attempt to do this method. I would say if you consider dry detangling, using that as a method to retain length, you have to be on point with your wash days. You cannot push your wash days 7, 8, 9, 10 days in dry detangle. You cannot do that. Tip number 2 with length retention. Be cautious of what your hair rubs up against. I talked about this in the goals or 2020 natural hair goals. I'll link that video up in the cards above. But when I come on YouTube, I wear spaghetti straps. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want the ends of my hair rubbing up against cotton, creating friction and getting dry. We've all heard it. Our ends are our elders, so we gotta treat them with a little bit more TLC, and it's absolutely true. So I'd rather the ends of my hair rub up against my skin or satin. And when I'm not on camera, my hair is never down. I always wear it up. And the reason why I do that is because I like to retain the moisture to push my wash days. Tip number 3, when protective styling, make sure that you lock your ends. One example of doing this is when you're doing a twist out or like a braid out, you can create an actual bantu knot at the ends of your hair to kind of lock in that moisture before you unravel. Especially if you're going to be wearing that twist and that braid, well, those braids for a couple of days. Another example of how to lock your ends is actually performing your lock method on your ends. Now, I personally do not mid-week refresh. Even when my hair is down, I don't do it. But when I am wearing my hair down and I push it 6-7 days, I make sure that I at least apply some type of moisture to the ends of my hair. Number 4, keep your hair in a stretched state. Shrinkage is most definitely a good sign of healthy hair. It's also a great cause of knots, tangles, what have you. Even when I wash my hair, I keep my hair in twists to avoid my hair raveling around itself and creating knots. The more you allow your hair to knot up, the more you have to detangle, the more you have to add manipulation, the more or the less you're retaining length. I actually made a video of how I wash my hair in twists. I'll link that video at the end of this video and in the description box. So don't worry, I got you. Last but not least, and I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Trimming off damaged split ends. Now you should already know that, right? You don't want that hair splitting upward. Like, you don't want that, right? But the point I want to make in this video about how to retain length like a pro is, do not get scissor happy. If one side of your hair is longer than the other side and you don't blow out your hair, and those long strands are still healthy, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Why cut off healthy hair to have the same length 360? Just why? I personally don't blow out my hair. I don't use heat anymore on my natural hair. And I completely understand for those who do why you want to do that, to have a certain shape to your hair. But if your hair is always in its curly state and you're like, oh, I gotta be even here, you cutting off your length for no reason. Sometimes that behavior can even transition into seeing things that's not really there. Being scissor happy is the absolute very opposite of retaining length like a pro. So there you have it, folks. Those are my 5 tips for retaining length like a professional. If I left some out and you have some to add to the list, leave it in the comments below. Retaining length is so important, just so important, and it's our ultimate goal for the new year. I encourage you to tune into next week, because part 2 of this is hairstyles that actually broke off my natural hair. So you see how important retaining length is? It gets 2 videos. 2 videos. If you missed me last week, we had a discussion about what does it mean to be tender-headed. It's a very sensitive topic, but I encourage you, go over here and check that video out, because it's more about the mindset than the physical pain.